Hey boys and girls, how are you doing? It's Mr. Tom again. Yeah, just hanging out here in the woods, looking at the beautiful moon and the starry skies and the trees behind me. It's a beautiful setting. It's nice out here. You know, I think this is a good time to read you another book. What do you say? I've got a good one. We read A Pocket for Corduroy a little while ago, and now I'm going to read the original book, Corduroy. This was the first one. A Pocket for Corduroy was after this. But let's read the first one and see how Corduroy got started and how he came to live with Lisa in her apartment. Corduroy is a bear who once lived in the toy department of a big store. Day after day, he waited with all the other animals and dolls for somebody to come along and take him home. The store was always filled with shoppers buying all sorts of things, but no one ever seemed to want a small bear in green overalls. Then one morning, a little girl stopped and looked straight into Corduroy's bright eyes. "Oh, Mommy," she said. "Look, there's the very bear I've always wanted." "Not today, dear," her mother sighed. "I've spent too much already. Besides, he doesn't look new. He's lost the button to one of his shoulder straps." Mom was right. Corduroy watched them sadly as they walked away. "Well, I didn't know I'd lost a button," Corduroy said to himself. "Tonight, I'll go see if I can find it." So that evening later on, when all the shoppers had gone and the doors were shut and locked, Corduroy climbed carefully down from his shelf and began searching everywhere on the floor for his lost button. Suddenly, he felt the floor moving underneath of him. Quite by accident, he had stepped onto an escalator, and up he went. Could this be a mountain? He wondered. I think I've always wanted to climb a mountain. He stepped off the escalator as it reached the next floor, and there, before his eyes, was a most amazing sight. Tables and chairs and lamps and sofas and rows of beds. "Well, this must be a palace," Corduroy gasped. "I guess I've always wanted to live in a palace." He wandered around admiring the furniture. "This must be a bed," he said. "I've always wanted to sleep in a bed." And up he crawled onto a large, thick mattress. All at once he saw something small and round. "Why, here's my button," he cried, and he tried to pick it up. But, like all the other buttons on the mattresses, it was tied down tight. He yanked and pulled with both of his paws until, pop, off came the button, and off the mattress Corduroy toppled. Bang into a tall floor lamp, and over it fell with a crash. Corduroy didn't know it, but there was someone else awake in the store too. The night watchman was going on his rounds on the floor above, and when he heard the crash, he came dashing down the escalator. "Now, who in the world did that?" he exclaimed. "Somebody must be hiding around here." He flashed his light under and over the sofas and beds until he came to the biggest bed of all, and there he saw two fuzzy brown ears sticking up from under the covers. "Well, hello," he said. "How did you get upstairs?" The watchman tucked Corduroy under his arm and carried him down the escalator, and he set him on the shelf in the toy department with the other animals and dolls. There he is. Corduroy was just waking up in the morning when the first customers came into the store. And there, looking at him with a wide, warm smile was the same little girl he'd seen only the day before. "I'm Lisa," she said, "and you're going to be my very own bear. Last night, I counted what I saved in my piggy bank, and my mother said I could bring you home." Oh, Lisa had saved up some money in her piggy bank. Good idea. "Shall I put him in a box for you?" the sales lady asked. "Oh, thank you," Lisa answered, "but no." And she carried Corduroy home in her arms. She ran all the way up 4 flights of stairs into her family's apartment and straight to her own room. Corduroy blinked. There was a chair and a chest of drawers, and alongside a girl-sized bed stood a little bed just the right size for him. The room was small, nothing like that enormous palace in the department store. "This must be home," he said. "I know I've always wanted to live in a home." Lisa sat down with Corduroy on her lap and began to sew a button on his overalls. "I like you the way you are," she said, "but you'll be more comfortable with your shoulder strap fastened." That's true. "You must be a friend," said Corduroy. "I've always wanted a friend." "Me too," said Lisa, and she gave him a great big hug. That's a great story, boys and girls. It's called Corduroy by Don Freeman. Hope you like that book, boys and girls. There'll be more coming. Listen to Mom and Dad, okay?